Dear student friends, welcome to this session. Our subject is power engineering and refrigeration. We are studying the last topic, refrigeration and air conditioning. Right now, we are going to study the various psychrometric processes which are involved in psychrometry. We already studied the psychrometry, air conditioning, and the psychrometric chart also. But right now, first of all, we will revise the psychrometric chart and then we will go ahead to study the various psychrometric charts, psychrometric processes, and the representation of these psychrometric processes on the psychrometric chart. So, the psychrometric chart is like this. We are going to show the constant property lines on the psychrometric chart. This is the horizontal axis, x-axis. Here the dry bulb temperature dBT is plotted. It increases in the right direction. Now this is the vertical axis. Instead of left side, it is on the right side. So on this vertical axis or the y-axis, the specific humidity is plotted. Omega is plotted. Then we draw a curve like this. So this curve is nothing but the saturation line or the saturation curve. On this curve, the condition of the air, the condition of the moist air is saturated or the relative humidity is 100%. Now, since dry bulb temperature is plotted on the horizontal axis, this vertical line represent constant dry bulb temperature. So all the vertical lines represent constant dry bulb temperature, right? Then the horizontal lines represent constant specific humidity. This horizontal line also represent constant dew point temperature, right? Then the specific volume, constant specific volume is represented by this line. So this inclined line represent constant specific volume, and this another inclined line is the constant wet bulb temperature line. It is also the constant enthalpy line. Now this curve is the constant relative humidity curve. The relative humidity is constant along this curve. So this is the saturation curve. So along this curve, the relative humidity is constant and equal to 100%. But along this curve, the relative humidity is constant but less than 100%. So this was the psychrometric chart, and here enthalpy is also shown. This is the enthalpy scale, right? So this enthalpy scale is generally perpendicular to this wet bulb temperature line, constant wet bulb temperature line, right? So this is the psychrometric chart and the various constant property lines on the psychrometric chart, and the various properties also are shown here. So these properties we have studied previously in the previous video. Now we are going to show the various processes, that is the psychrometric processes. We are going to study the various psychrometric processes. So this is again the psychrometric chart we have seen. This is the saturation line or the saturation curve. This is the enthalpy scale. On this horizontal scale, dry bulb temperature is plotted. On this vertical axis, specific humidity is plotted, right? So this is the psychrometric chart, and on this chart we are going to represent the various processes, psychrometric processes, and we are going to study them. So the psychrometric process, any process will be shown on the graph by a line or a curve along with the arrow. So arrow indicate the direction of the process. So the initial process and the final process, in which direction the process is going to proceed, that is indicated by the arrow, right? And the condition or state is represented by a point, right? So two points are joined. First point is nothing but the initial condition, second point is nothing but the final condition or state, right? And the line or curve which joins is nothing but the process, right? An arrow indicates the direction in which the process is being taken place, which is the initial condition and which is the final condition. The arrow is going away from the initial condition towards the final condition, right? So first process is sensible heating process. Sensible heating. So look at this line, this arrow. So it is indicating it is traveling in the horizontal direction towards right, right? So the direction is right and it is a horizontal line, horizontal arrow. So this is the initial condition, this is the final condition, right? And since it is horizontal, it is a sensible heating process. So in sensible heating process, the dry bulb temperature increases. Mainly the dry bulb temperature increases. But here at the same time, the wet bulb temperature is also increased. Wet bulb temperature is also increased. Enthalpy is also increased. But the specific humidity remains constant. Specific humidity or the humidity ratio remains constant because the specific humidity increases in the vertical direction, right? Or it is plotted on the vertical axis. And since this line is horizontal, there is no change in the specific humidity. Only thing is that what changes directly is the dry bulb temperature. So this is the sensible heating, right? And the sensible heat is added. Sensible heat increases, and this leads to the increase in the enthalpy. There is no increase in the latent enthalpy. Only sensible enthalpy, sensible heat is increased, right, due to sensible heating. So there is increase in the dry bulb temperature. There is no increase in the moisture content or the specific humidity. So this is nothing but the sensible heating process. So we are going to study further about sensible heating. But right now let us represent all these various processes. In the examination you may be asked to represent the various processes, any one or two processes. So you have to draw the psychrometric chart like this, small chart, and just draw an arrow like this and write there sensible heating, whatever is the process, right? So that is expected in the examination, minimum that is expected in the examination. Now the next process is nothing but the sensible cooling process. So sensible cooling is just opposite to sensible heating. During sensible cooling, the dry bulb temperature is decreased, right? Dry bulb temperature is directly decreased. So this is represented by a horizontal line with an arrow pointing in the left direction, right? So this is the arrow which is pointing in the left direction, and there is no change in the specific humidity or the humidity ratio, right? But the sensible heat is reduced, right? Or the sensible enthalpy is reduced. Okay, so this is nothing but the sensible cooling process in which the dry bulb temperature is reduced but the specific humidity doesn't change. Okay, now another is the latent heating process. This process is latent heating. You can see that it is represented by a vertical line. So during latent heating, you will find that there is no change in the dry bulb temperature. Dry bulb temperature is constant, but the specific humidity or the humidity ratio is increased directly, right, during the latent heat. That means the moisture content is increased. We are adding moisture without any change in the dry bulb temperature, right? So of course wet bulb temperature may increase, dew point temperature is also increased, but the dry bulb temperature is not increased during the latent heating process. Okay, now similarly we are having the opposite process to latent heating, that is latent cooling. So during latent cooling, the specific humidity directly decreases, right, or the humidity ratio or the moisture content or the absolute humidity directly decreases, right, during the latent heating process. But the dry bulb temperature is constant. There is no change in the dry bulb temperature. So this latent cooling is represented by a vertical line with the arrow pointing in the downward direction. Arrow is in the downward direction. So that is nothing but the latent cooling process. Okay. Now few more process we are going to study, the combination of heating and humidification. So this is heating with humidification. So this arrow indicates the process heating with humidification. So this is heating with humidification, right? This arrow indicates heating with humidification. So heating means to the right and humidification means upwards. So this is the resultant, right and upwards, right? So this arrow is pointing in the upward direction as well as in the right direction. It is inclined arrow. Okay. So it is going upwards but not vertically upwards, right? It is going towards the right but not horizontally towards the right. It is an inclined arrow. So it combines heating with humidification, right? So this process, heating and humidification, will be represented by an arrow, inclined arrow like this. Second one is cooling with humidification, right? So cooling means the direction should be towards the left and humidification means in the upward direction. So it is a combination of left and upwards or upwards and left. So left means cooling and humidification means upwards. So this arrow indicates cooling with humidification, right? So if you are just asked to represent this process, you just draw an arrow like this and represent and write here like this. That is the cooling with humidification. Okay. Then another process you can have, that is cooling with dehumidification. Cooling with dehumidification. Cooling means to the left and dehumidification means in the downward direction, right? So the dry bulb temperature is decreased during this process, that is cooling with dehumidification, and here the specific humidity is also decreased, right? Dry bulb temperature is decreased, specific humidity is decreased. You can also say that the wet bulb temperature increases, dew point temperature increases, right? And overall enthalpy also decreases during this process, that is cooling with dehumidification. Now during this process, cooling with humidification, the dry bulb temperature decreases but the specific humidity increases, right? So the enthalpy may increase or decrease because the latent enthalpy increases, right? But the sensible enthalpy will decrease. Sensible enthalpy will decrease, right? During this process, because the dry bulb temperature decreases during cooling with humidification, right? So we have studied heating with humidification, cooling with humidification, then cooling with dehumidification, and finally let us study heating with dehumidification. So heating means towards the right and dehumidification means in the downward direction, right? So this arrow is like this. It is a combination of right and downwards, right? So this is a combination of heating with dehumidification. Heating means towards right, dehumidification means in the downward direction, right? So during this process you will find that the dry bulb temperature increases but the specific humidity decreases, right? And other properties may increase or decrease depending upon this inclination of this arrow, how much heating is there, how much dehumidification is there, right? But one thing is sure, that during this process, that is heating with dehumidification, the dry bulb temperature is increased and the specific humidity is decreased. That means the humidity ratio, moisture content, or the absolute humidity is decreased during this process, that is heating with dehumidification. Okay. Now let us study the various psychrometric processes in detail, right? One by one we can study all the psychrometric processes in detail. So first process is sensible cooling. So sensible cooling is represented on the chart like this. On the psychrometric chart, this is the dry bulb temperature, specific humidity. You can see that OA represents sensible cooling. This is a horizontal line. The arrow is pointing in the left direction. O is the initial condition, A is the final condition. So HO is the initial enthalpy, HA is the final enthalpy, and the enthalpy decreases, the total enthalpy decreases, and the decrease in enthalpy will be given by HO minus HA, right? So this is the process sensible cooling. So during the sensible cooling process, the moisture content of the air remains constant. Moisture contains, that means specific humidity omega remains constant, but its temperature decreases. Dry bulb temperature is decreased as it flows over a cooling coil. So for sensible cooling, the air must come in contact with a cooling coil. The cooling coil may be some coil through which the evaporating refrigerant may be passing, that is the evaporator coil may be there, right, of the vapor compression system. So that may act as the cooling coil, or the coil through which chilled water is flowing, that may also act as a cooling coil. So the air stream is brought in contact with the cooling coil, and thus the dry bulb temperature is decreased, right. For moisture content to remain constant, the surface area of the cooling coil should be dry and its surface temperature should be greater than dew point temperature and less than dry bulb temperature. Of course, the surface temperature of the cooling coil should be less than dry bulb temperature, then only sensible cooling will take place. But one care we have to take here, that the surface temperature of the cooling coil should be greater than dew point temperature. Because if it is less than dew point temperature and if the air is cooled below dew point temperature, then what will happen is that dehumidification will take place. Condensation of the moisture, condensation and separation of the moisture will take place, and that will reduce the humidity, right. So therefore we must take care that the surface temperature of the cooling coil should be greater than the dew point temperature and less than the dry bulb temperature of the air, then only sensible cooling process can take place, right. If the cooling coil is 100% effective, then the exit temperature of air will be equal to the coil temperature, right. But cooling coil is never 100% effective. In practice, the exit air temperature will be higher than the cooling coil temperature, somewhere in between. So the heat transfer rate during this process is given by this formula, that is the heat transfer rate is equal to mass of air multiplied by change in enthalpy, decrease in enthalpy, HO minus HA, or this can be also multiplied, this can be written in this way also, that is mass of air into specific heat of moist air multiplied by change in temperature, change in dry bulb temperature. So this is the initial dry bulb temperature, TO, dry bulb temperature at point O at initial condition, and TA is the dry bulb temperature at the final condition. So this equation can give you the heat transfer rate, or the heat which is lost, the rate at which heat is lost by the air due to sensible cooling. The sensible cooling of air in this process is the process in which only the sensible heat of the air is removed. Only sensible heat is removed. Latent heat is not removed, right. Therefore the specific humidity remains constant. So as to reduce its temperature, only temperature is reduced, that is the dry bulb temperature is reduced. During sensible cooling process, dry bulb temperature, wet bulb temperature and enthalpy of the air reduces. Dry bulb temperature is reduced, wet bulb temperature of the air is also reduced, and thus the enthalpy is also reduced, okay, because the sensible enthalpy is reduced, while the latent heat and dew point temperature of the air remains constant. Latent heat, there is no change in the latent heat, right. So here the meaning of the latent heat is different. Latent heat refers to the specific to the humidity which is of the air, or the water vapor which is present in the air, okay. If we add water vapor, then the latent heat is increased. If we remove water vapor from the air, then the latent heat is decreased, right. So this latent heat depends upon the specific humidity, increase or decrease in the specific humidity. So since there is no change in the specific humidity, the latent heat will not be changed, okay, and the dew point temperature also is not changed, because this horizontal line represents the constant dew point temperature, right. So the latent heat and dew point temperature of the air remains constant, and the sensible cooling process is represented by a straight horizontal line. This is a straight horizontal line, with arrow pointing left on the psychrometric chart. So this is the process sensible cooling. Okay. So other processes we will study in the next video, because this video is becoming too longer. Thank you, my dear friends.